Hello, and from wherever you are, welcome to Joy News Prime, live from our studios here in Accra, Ghana. We're live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125, around the world on myjoyonline.com. Coming up in this hour, U.S. aid, $150 million assistance to Ghana on hold as the Trump administration closes down the development agency, citing lack of transparency. We have details as actions begins affecting procurement and distribution of essential health commodities in northern Ghana. We have more as Ghana's health service signals critical disruptions in healthcare delivery. And also coming up, the government plans to cancel the Govt for All program, citing huge losses and lack of transparency surrounding the deal.
Replace it with a better program. The current Govt for All program we've inherited, we will discontinue it.
We'll bring you details shortly here. And also President John Mahama announces new strategies to combat illegal mining. Will go beyond relying solely on security agencies, instead actively involving chiefs and the youth in finding sustainable solutions.
Our plan will involve the communities, including the chiefs and the youth, to take part in protecting their lands and forests and water bodies.
Now, the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, which manages tens of billions of dollars worth of U.S. foreign aid programs, is due to close on Friday. Employees will be locked out of their offices and computer systems. Several senior figures in the agency were placed on leave as the Trump administration took steps to fold its functions into the Department of State. USAID is by far the largest humanitarian and development arm of the U.S. government, with a workforce of approximately 10,000 people worldwide and an annual budget of tens of billions of dollars. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the agency lacks transparency, hence the need for reforms. Another global body affected by the cutting USAID is the World Health Organization. The withdrawal of the, of U.S. from the World Health Organization is one of the key executive orders issued by President Trump on his first day back into the Oval Office, suspending funding and recalling all U.S. personnel working with the institution. So how big an impact will this have on global health? Joy News Research has been crunching the numbers, analyzing data, and joining us now with details is our lead data and research analyst, Isaac Kofi. Kofi, what does the data tell us?
Kojo, U.S. is big, and that's why when U.S. coughs, grants and aid will definitely catch a cold. We are talking about a country that in 2022 gave away some $15.7 billion in terms of grants and aid. Now, let's focus on the WHO that the U.S. says that they are withdrawing. This is not the first time. We understand the first time was actually in July or somewhere during the COVID period, 2020, when Donald Trump said that, look, they were not happy with the way the WHO were expanding during the COVID period and giving some preferential treatment to China and putting focus on China. So they were withdrawing. But we know that that decision was reversed by Joe Biden when he came to power in January 2021. This year, another threat has been issued, an executive order in that respect, saying that the U.S. for the second time will be deciding to withdraw from the WHO. Now, the WHO is already out with its 2024-2025 budget, and that's what you can see on the smart wall. What is this figure? $6.7 billion is what they are looking to expend.
$6.9
billion. Roughly somewhere, let's say $7 billion is what they are looking to expend in 2024 and 2025, two-year budget. Roughly, if you look at the WHO, they spend between $2 to $3 billion every year. Now, this money is huge. They don't generate it by themselves. This is where they expect that money to come from. So let's look at the big pie. And you can see the red area will be occupied by the U.S. They are supposed to contribute 14%. And the Bill Gates and Melinda Gates Foundation will contribute 10% to this. That's
huge.
That's just a foundation contributing 10% to WHO's funding. The 8% is supposed to come from Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance, And you can see World Bank 5%, Germany 5%, United Kingdom 3%, Canada 2%, European Investment Bank somewhere 2%. So this is the pie. And definitely the one in red is the big component. So big that if you value it, $988 million is what the U.S. is expected to
Almost
contribute.
$1 billion.
Almost $1 billion, you put it right. This figure is very huge. And if the U.S. is pulling out, they're pulling out with this big money on a smart wall. Now, beyond that, one key aspect that will be affected will be health. So let's break it down. This $988 million that the U.S. the WHO was expecting from the U.S. If you look at it on the health perspective, they were expecting that the U.S. will bring $235 million for emergency operations and appeals. This is health. Now, polio eradication, $133 million. You also have health emergencies, $154 million. HIV, hepatitis, and STI, $41 million. Tuberculosis, $29 million. And immunization, $16+ million. So just look at it on the perspective of health. Huge losses to WHO if the U.S. decides to pull out. We already understand that WHO is talking to other countries that, look, convince the U.S. to rescind their decision. You can see it there, and you can see that U.S. is the big guy when it comes to the contribution. The pie we saw for you in valuation terms, this is what you can see. Bill Gates and his foundation, $724 million contribution. Mind you, this is also an American foundation.
Yes.
So we definitely don't know if this executive order will just affect government, or maybe they will compel other, private and citizens to also follow suit. We understand that U.S. will be big, and pulling out will have a big impact. Now we come down to Ghana.
Localizing the impact.
Absolutely. Now let's look at the USAID or the US aid and how much Ghana expects or gets from this source or this pool every year. Average is $150 million, and we use to support these areas that you see on the smart wall. This year we placed a request for nearly $138 million. Now we are crying over this. Countries like Nigeria won't be getting somewhere $1 billion. Ethiopia, $1 billion. And other African countries will also not be getting. They are the big guys who get more from the USAID. Ghana, this is so big, looking at the fact that, the pool will affect us, and already we've seen what's happening in the northern region. Now, let's break down this $137 million. We understand that healthcare will be the big part. $69 million or $69.2 million will go into healthcare. Education will follow with some $15 million. And if it comes to agriculture, $33 million and all of that. So that tells you that this money is important. And if the USAID, which we understand currently, their website isn't even operationalizing or isn't working as it used to be, should tell you that Trump is serious and he wants this money back in the U.S. Good.
Quite interesting data there, and the sort of impact this will have on Ghana. And if you extrapolate it to the whole continent, it gives you a picture of how dire the situation will be. But then it's a call also on Africa to rise and do things on its own. But we'll still keep monitoring the situation with the U.S. aid and give you whatever that happens. Well, away from that, the Energy Minister, John Jinapor, has served notice of cancelling the inherited Gold for All program instituted by the erstwhile administration. The Gold for All program, which was introduced as a means to leverage the country's gold reserves in exchange for petroleum products, has come under intense scrutiny. Speaking to Blessed Soga on PM Express, the Energy Minister said the current system is deeply flawed and will be replaced with a more transparent alternative.
We'll replace it with a better program. The current Gold for Oil program we've inherited, we will discontinue it. Take it from me.
And when you say you're discontinuing that, it will not be run as of tonight?
You need some time to put a workable system in place. If you want to set up a gold board, you have to go to Parliament. It has to have some legal backing. In the interim, we are trying to shape the current system and ensure that we reduce the losses and make it a bit more transparent. But ultimately, we want to replace this whole Gold for Oil program and put in place a much more effective system. Yes, but the IMF is not against gold purchase. And so if you have one body, which is the gold board, responsible for procuring all the gold domestically, either through agents or in collaboration with the private sector, we hold the gold board responsible. And so based on the tonnage that is bought every year, they would account for all the revenues in a dedicated account, which will be hard currency. And it's that hard currency that will be used to support the import of oil and other essential products.
Well, he explained that aside from the opacity surrounding the deal, the Bank of Ghana has been recording significant losses as a result of the irregularities the program is fraught with.
Contrary, the information I'm getting is that there's been some losses that has been observed by the Bank of Ghana. And so we need to ensure that we increase the overall efficiency and reduce the losses. Because normally, in this industry, you face a forest risk. So the question is that who bears the forest risk? That's very important. And so you cannot just look at the gross figures. You have to do a deeper analysis and find out whether there's actual benefit. And so we intend to commission some work, especially at post, to determine the exact volumes, the values, and what we can do in future to forestall such occurrences.
Well, Chief Executive Officer of the Association of Oil Marketing Companies, Dr. Riverson Opon, added that the gold for oil deal did not bring the expected reduction in fuel prices as promised.
But the question about if there's a potential of the gold for oil to curb high prices of fuel, I believe the notion that gold for oil transaction alone will lead to lower fuel prices is a bit of misconception in the long run, because we have seen how this was introduced, and also the fact that absolutely didn't curb energy security in any way, but rather in the latter days of the year we saw energy in terms of fuel shortage in the country because the BDCs could not plan along with the gold for oil fuel supply, and therefore were reluctant in importing. Okay, and then also in terms of the pricing, did gold for oil bring prices down as we anticipated? The answer is a big no. So we, the industry players, are waiting to hear from the government on what it intends to bring on board to replace the existing framework.
Well, let's take you to Parliament now, because the public hearing of a special committee set up by Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagman to investigate the chaos at the appointment committee on Thursday has come to an abrupt end. It follows the decision of Minority Leader Alexander Fenn-Omarking to pull two of his members who served on the committee, as well as ordering NPP MPs against testifying before the committee. Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kwekwa Asante was there and has the rest of the story.
The special committee set up by Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagman to investigate the chaos at the appointment committee has gotten to work. It first heard from Kwame Govt Sagboja, a former Majority Chief Whip, now Roads Minister, and also Jifa Ablagu-Mashi, the Minister for Tourism and Creative Arts. These two NDC MPs were at the appointment committee on the day this happened. They were identified by the committee to explain what exactly they saw.
Anybody says we were originally to vet 3, we give in and added 1, making it 4, and somebody is trying to make it 5. That is not entirely the situation. It's an unfortunate situation. I totally support the action of Mr. Speaker.
On that fateful day, I saw the absence of tolerance. I saw the absence of camaraderie. I saw the absence of the respect for this institution called the Parliament of Ghana.
The first Deputy Speaker and Chairman of the Appointment Committee, Bernard Ahiafo, also took his turn before the committee. In his testimony, he repeated claims he has made in the media that it would appear that the Minority Leader, Alexander Fenn-Omarking, incited his colleagues to behave the way they did at the committee.
Ask the Minister Designate for Health to take his seat. It was there that I realized that we are tired, we will not do Honorable Akando. Akando will not be vetted today in a very rowdy manner. I heard the minority leader requesting that they should call some people into the vetting room. And in no time, they started walking to the vetting room. So I realized that they were under some kind of instruction from their leader to do certain things. There are some instances where my ranking member will ask their side that they should all stand up and put on the microphone. And by putting on the microphone, all other microphones will be disabled. And you cannot do anything when all the microphones were on. So
the clerk to the appointment committee, Madam Govt Jage Goba, who have become the center of attacks, in particular from the NPP side, also testified and explained what happened through her own eyes.
I was looking at the chair. What is the directive? Waiting for prompting. But then my boss, the clerk to parliament, was also there. And then the insults and disruption started. You have asked that I shouldn't go into that, so I went. And so I was shocked. I was still standing. If you look at the video, you could see the shock on my face. He kept, screaming at me. I should let the nominee take the oath. My minority leader was also screaming and hailing. I don't want to go into it because you've asked me to, so we've watched the video, and the video is there to speak clearly.
Her testimony did not even end, and the chairman had to intervene. Apparently, the minority leader, Alexander Afenyo-Markin, had pulled his members from the committee and instructed other NPP MPs against coming to the committee to testify, which has led to the abrupt suspension of the committee.
The clerk of parliament has instructed that we should suspend the sitting until further notice, and therefore I want everybody to be aware that it is not the committee that has decided to stop, but the clerk to Parliament of Ghana has requested that until he gets further instruction from the speaker, the committee should suspend his sitting. Along the line, he requested that he want to meet with his leader. And so we're told, when he came back, he said the leader asked him to recuse himself and not to be part of the meeting again. We had one of the witnesses from the other side who was coming, and later on sent a text message that he will not come again because his leader said he should not come.
The committee now expects to get further guidance and directives from the Speaker of Parliament, who we understand now is currently out of the country, and that will inform the way forward as to whether or not the committee will proceed to do further work or completely truncate the work it has done so far. Reporting for Joy News, Kweku Asante, Parliament House, Accra.
From Accra, let's take you to Western Region, where President John Dramani Mahama has announced that new strategies to combat illegal mining, popularly known as galamsey, will extend beyond the use of security agencies. Instead, his approach will actively involve chiefs and the youth in developing sustainable solutions. Now, speaking during a thank you tour to the Western Region, he assured residents that his administration will prioritize the region's needs and ensure it receives the necessary resources for development. The Omahini of the Eskadu traditional area, Nana Kobenan Ketia V, in a speech raised concerns about how illegal mining is destroying the environment. Here is President John Mahama on new strategies to eliminate the menace of illegal mining.
No, my brothers and sisters, the whole country is appalled at the extensive environmental degradation that has been caused by illegal small-scale mining, popularly known as galamsey. Your own son, Ama Kofi-Boa, is formulating strategies for the implementation of our manifesto promise for dealing with this galamsey menace. Our plan will involve the communities, including the chiefs and the youth, to take part in protecting their lands and forests and water bodies. We're not going to make it the responsibility of only the security agencies. We're going to involve the chiefs and the young people in the communities to help to protect your own lands, your forests, and your water bodies. We'll take urgent steps to halt mining activities in our forest reserves and on our rivers. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm grateful to note that the recent cholera outbreak is abating, but I urge you, our fellow citizens, to continue to take protective action by making sure that your sources of drinking water are safe and that you take the necessary steps to avoid being attacked by cholera.
Well, additionally, President Mahama revealed that the government plans to present an amendment to Parliament for the Public Holidays Act to restore July 1 as a holiday. Apologies for the poor quality of that video. Now, away from that, residents of Ablekuma North constituency are calling for restraint as both Irabena Obing and Ekiafriye have erected billboards claiming victory in the 2024 general or parliamentary elections. The Electoral Commission has yet to declare final results of the Ablekuma North election after several failed attempts to conclude the coalition process, which had been marred with violence. But before the EC could proceed any further, both candidates have erected billboards thanking constituents for electing them. James Kwesi Aveji visited the constituency and filed this report.
This is Kwashiman traffic light at the heart of Ablekuma North constituency. Now, 2 months ago, a constituent went to the polls just as anyone across all other constituencies in the country to elect both presidential and parliamentary candidates. But 2 months on, they are yet to get a representation in Parliament. That is because the Electoral Commission, after several attempts, is still yet to declare a final winner of the parliamentary elections in this particular constituency.
After multiple coalition attempts amid chaos and drama, the EC has been able to collate 280 out of the 281 total polling stations. A final attempt on January 17 had to be suspended because NDC supporters invaded the coalition center and vandalized the place. While the EC is looking for ways to resolve the impasse, the NDC's Irabena Obing and the NPP's Ekiafriye are both claiming victory, saying thank you to voters for electing them. In the middle of this busy intersection, Irabena's billboard stood side by side Ekiafriye and Dr. Baumier's campaign billboard with the inscription, "Thank you, Ablekuma North constituency, building Ablekuma North together." Just 200 meters away from this footbridge overseeing the highway, Ekiafriye also erected her own billboard side by side Irabena and John Mahama's campaign billboard with the inscription, "Ablekuma North constituency, I am grateful. Ekiafriye MP-elect Ablekuma North." A number of similar billboards are put up at several vantage locations across the constituency. Beyond these billboards, the two are currently on a thank you tour. For some residents, these actions may disrupt the peace of the constituency.
NDC is claiming victory, and the NPP is also claiming victory. Meanwhile, the final result is not declared. We, the youth, want peace, so we appeal to them to exercise restraint. They are all saying thank you to voters when there is no declaration. We want them to wait for the EC so that there will be peace.
Others also believe the EC's delay is not only denying them representation in Parliament, but development as well.
The Electoral Commission has to work on this to declare the winner for the voters to know who their leader is. Because when it comes to development, it's the leader who will lobby for development from the government and bring it to the constituency. So now, as Ablekuma North, they are orphans. They don't know where to go or who to talk to. It's not a good thing at all for Ablekuma North.
It is still unclear how long the constituents of Ablekuma North would have to wait to get representation in the House of Legislature. From Ablikman North constituency here in Accra, I am James Savage for Joy News.
But what is really the EC's position on this, and what have they been saying with regards to the coalition? James Savage joins me via Zoom with more. James, it's been almost 3 weeks since the last suspension, and you have been digging around the EC on what is delaying the coalition. What more do we know?
Well, Brace, sadly, it appears the EC itself does not know when exactly they would attempt the next coalition. You remember it's left with just one polling station for this coalition process to end. But as we speak, some information we're getting around the EC is that they are now waiting on the Ghana Police Service to give them full assurance and clearance of safety with looking at the kind of chaos and vandalism we've seen over the last coalition attempt. And so it's now beholds on the Ghana Police Service to give clearance to the Electoral Commission before they can go ahead with that. And that's what the EC itself has been waiting for. As to when that clearance will come, it is still unclear.
And the police have also not indicated when they will give that clearance.
As it stands now, we are unable to get that information from the police because you know how the police operates. They do not interact with individuals unless the issue comes to their attention, and then they will issue a statement on that. And so we are hoping that either the police will issue a statement on that or they would communicate to the EC, then we can have a clear way forward.
Okay, all right, James, I'm grateful there. Away from the Ablikman North election, let's take you to Ashanti region because fire has destroyed a 13-bedroom house and properties of inhabitants in the Ofori-Krom Gao Line community in the Ashanti region. According to residents, the fire started around midday on Wednesday and raged until the intervention of the KNUST fire station to avert spreading to nearby houses.
No casualty in the latest fire incident in the Ashanti region. Eyewitnesses described how the community quickly mobilized to contain the blaze before professional help arrived. We had a lot of people helping before the fire service arrived. The fire really brought down all the structures. It nearly extended to the next house. We cannot count our losses in this extensive fire.
For now,
For now, I can say everything in the house is gone. We were fortunate that the kids here had gone to school at the time the fire started. The incident has left victims stranded. Madam Asana, whose sister was affected, said they could not pick a single item from the room. They couldn't pick anything from their rooms. It's painful for a family to lose their fortune in a single day. How are they going to survive? The fire service brought the fire under control within 2 hours and has launched investigation into the cause of the fire. The Ashanti region has already recorded 183 fire cases since the beginning of 2025. Major markets, including Kejitia Market, Asafo Market, and Kwadasu Wood Market, are the most impacted. For Joy News, my name is Clinton Yabua.
This is Joy News Prime. We'll take a break here. We will be back with more. Please do stay. Welcome back from the break. Now, the Presidential Committee on Education Reform has assured the public of practical and implementable solutions to bridge existing gaps in Ghana's education system. Tasked with conducting a comprehensive review, the committee aims to develop a competitive policy framework that will shape the nation's curriculum. At the committee's inauguration, Education Minister Haruna Idrisu charged members to ensure their recommendation lead to a more effective and inclusive education system in Ghana.
Holding the office of Chairman or member of the National Education Forum Planning Committee, do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
Education Minister Haruna Idrisu, who inaugurated the President's 8-member committee, reiterated the need to review the current educational system so the Ghanaian child will be the ultimate beneficiary.
The country, almost a decade ago, was busy implementing a free senior high school. The country, in my view, did not adequately prepare for the absorption of the exponential increase in numbers of persons accessing free senior high school, how well we absorb them into our tertiary institutions. So there's a challenge. Ball now is in your court, Chair. What the President wants is to benefit from the knack of open, relevant, transparent discussion about how we all can contribute into making education accessible, equitable, with quality, and relevant to our national development planning needs.
The committee chair, Professor George K. Theodore, assured expert advice will be brought to bear to aid the committee's work, especially on the issue of the free senior high school policy.
One thing that this committee is going to do in the interim is to work out the framework to guide the National Stakeholder Forum that we consider very important. We know there are issues relating to free SHS as to whether it should be implemented as we inherited, or whether the target it should go to those who really need it, as to whether the focus should be on disadvantaged groups in the country, or we should just give it to everybody, as to whether our emphasis should be on access, or we should emphasize quality and equi-indexed access when we're talking about free SHS. When we come to a teacher training college, for instance, we're talking about teacher allowances, as to whether when the colleges of education move up to tertiary level, and with some of them getting charter for their operations as autonomous colleges of education, we should continue paying allowances as we have now compared to what traditional university, tertiary, all these things are issues that we need to interrogate. And so we are bringing experts. We are bringing experts not only from Ghana, but from the diaspora to come, and then collectively we work out plans as to how best education can be financed in this country, particularly for the benefit of the needy in the society. And we will need collective views.
The committee, which has 2 weeks to submit a comprehensive plan for the forum, is also expected to draft a national education policy framework and propose an action plan for implementing the recommendations within 3 weeks after the forum. Mama V. Sefa Cortez report read to you.
Well, campaign for Council of State representative for the Ashanti region is heating up as aspirants begin campaign tours of all 43 local assemblies of the region. 2 women are among the 12 candidates hoping to join the Council of State in the current administration. Though the Electoral College of 2 representatives from each assembly is yet to be formed, aspirants are mounting strong campaigning for the post. Nana Aljima put a spotlight on some of the candidates and as far as this report.
12 people have filed to contest for the Council of State position in the Ashanti region. Out of 12 applications received, 2 are females, while the remaining 10 are males. 86 assembly members nominated from the 43 districts municipal and metropolitan assemblies are expected to vote in the upcoming election. In a rare move, two accomplished women are gearing up to win the contest that has been male-dominated. Accomplished entrepreneur Rose Hamilton was the first female to put herself up for the race. Spokesperson Kwame Osubampu counts on the experience of the candidate to win the race.
Let's talk about Rose Hamilton. Never put your mouth at me.
Mrs. Rose Hamilton will help facilitate development in Ashanti. She's accessible. Some people vanish into thin air after we vote for them.
Queen Mother of Insuta Falde, Nana Adjoa Foriwa steps into the race as an experienced traditional ruler, hoping to make a change in national policies.
My vision is to help bring development to Ashanti. It's time to give women the chance to serve at the Council of State.
The campaign team of the Chief of Agric in Zama, Nana Nkansa Boadu, continues to impress upon the Electoral College to put him ahead of others. Bafo Kantenkrechi speaks for him.
It is the development of the country we all seek for. He has Ghana at heart.
Former chairman of the NDC in the Ashanti region, Yao Obimpe, and former organizer of the NDC at Insheso constituency, Angel Yenchi, have also joined the race.
If Ashanti has voted for John Mahama, then the region should be honored. I'm the best person to help him do that. It is time for the youth to drive development, and I am the person for that.
The other aspirants include Nana Yao Ekweokun, Alexander Inti, Nana Jedukumenim the fourth, and Nana Kwesi Ampofo the second. Daniel Anefi and Bismarck Ejay are among aspirants in the contest. For Joy News, Nana Ojima Kumasi.
A resident in Bensara in Obuasi are protesting the construction of a toxic waste dam in a community by Anglo-Gold Ashanti Obuasi mine. They allege 3 large dams built in the area by the gold mining company for disposing mine waste and other waste materials are polluting water sources in the farming community. Emmanuel Bright Kweku has more in this report.
The Anglo-Gold Ashanti Obuasi mine has constructed a dam in the Binswi community to accommodate its waste materials from the mine. According to the community, the situation is leading to a range of health problems, including terminal illnesses. The aggrieved residents claim the chemical effluence from the mine has caused numerous miscarriages among expectant mothers and babies born with congenital diseases. Those of us who first came to this community did not see any dam here, but as we speak now, they have built another dam for extensions, which is only a few meters away from my house. The waste from the dam is affecting our health. People aren't buying from us anymore. Drinking water is now scarce unless we buy sachet water. We can't even eat from our gardens because they are poisonous. We've been having stomach upsets. Complaints lodged to the mine, according to the residents, have fallen on deaf ears. They are imploring traditional authorities and the government to intervene, demanding compensation and proper accommodation if they are to be relocated.
Nobody is heeding our concerns.
The air we are breathing is bad. They are not listening to us. At least 2 people died when they first constructed the dam.
The residents have warned that they will take matters into their own hands if their concerns are not addressed promptly. AGA has yet to respond to the concerns. For Joy News, my name is Emmanuel Pratkwiku.
Well, this is still Joy News Prime. Let's take a break and bring you showbiz right after this day. Well, let's do showbiz, and Becky Bex is in the house with all the gist. Hi, Becky, how are you?
Hello to you, Brace. How you doing?
What's informing that smile that you carry?
I'm excited for John Dumelo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm excited for him, you know, from acting all the way to farming now.
To politics.
And now the Deputy Agric Minister. Ghanaian actor, farmer and entrepreneur John Kofi Seto Dumelo has been appointed as Deputy Minister Designate for Food and Agriculture. The announcement was made on February 5, 2025 by Felix Ofosu-Kwakye, the acting spokesperson to President John Dramani Mahama. John Dumelo is currently the Member of Parliament of Ayawaso West Wogon constituency in the Greater Accra region. He started acting in the early 90s in a 1992 movie called Baby Thief while he was attending Christ the King School. Apart from acting, John Dumelo is also involved in both crop and animal farming. For the past few years, he has announced his dedication to agriculture and has encouraged the youth to get into the venture.
Yeah.
So congratulations once again. He's yet to be vetted, right?
Yeah,
we are looking forward to that. We'll bring you all the details from that. But let's move away from John Dumelo and talk about Ghanaian poet and playwright Chief Mumin. He will be performing at the Earth to Space Festival slated for April 2025 at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. Making the announcement on his Facebook page, he wrote, on April 5, 2025, I will bring the best of my storytelling powers to bear, honed over 2 decades of practice and underpinned by centuries of ancestral traditions, on an exclusive one-man show within the lineup of Earth to Space Festival at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. Unquote. He also added that he will be joining an impressive lineup of poets, astronauts, musicians, researchers, visual artists, engineers, actors, environmentalists and architects, astronomers, dancers, scientists, filmmakers, and others at the event. Chief indicated that there will be a series of spectacular, thought-provoking events of this highly anticipated festival dubbed Earth to Space, Art Breaking the Sky. The Earth to Space Festival is a multidisciplinary event that combines art, science, and technology to explore the wonders of space while also highlighting the importance of protecting our planet Earth.
You put your hands to wishing to be in love.
Or the married ones.
Okay.
Well, we're not in love. What are you even talking about?
No, you were pointing at me. Wish to be in love. I don't wish to be in love.
Okay, well, I'm sorry I pointed at you. I'm pointing at you. Whoever who is out there who wants to wish to be in love. But Akwaaba, you know that he has the Shades of Love concert every 14th of February, and it's happening. And he's been explaining, telling us all about, Brace, stop looking at me like that. He's been explaining to us the concept and the inspiration behind the Shades of Love. He actually credited Kojo Entry for inspiring him.
Okay, so like I said, I looked at Omomo Minimino parties from the Kojo Entries too, and I found out that they have 24th December thing that he does.
Yeah.
And I wanted something like that for myself too.
Signature.
Yeah, for myself. That I wouldn't always have to depend on a promoter or somebody to call me for events, but I can host my own events. Okay. And this year will be the 7th year.
Wow.
Apart from last year.
Congratulations, my brother.
Thank you. Thank you. So it's been a while.
Right there, ending showbiz for this evening.
Yeah.
We're grateful that this evening nothing really took time.
On John Dumelo's appointment, I want to tell the youth that agric is not a new gold. You have to look at farming.
Right.
If you have not thought about it, think twice about agric. If you do it and do it well, it's so rewarding, and congrats to him. I hope that his appointment will inspire a lot of young people to go into agriculture,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Congratulations to John Dumelo. And we're so grateful that you could join us this evening. Please join us same time tomorrow for even more thrilling edition of Joy News Prime. Please remember to brush your teeth with Pepsodent, because with Pepsodent, every smile matters. Newton, ensure that your wife brushes her teeth with Pepsodent before she goes to bed this evening.
We hear Becky. We're grateful.
And also you...